Hello, and welcome to Not So Maladroit, where we recognize that we're all just a little bit flawed, so we try and slow down a little bit, put in some brain work, and maybe be a little bit less ridiculous in the things that we believe and do. I'm Austin Miller, and today I want to talk a little bit about power.
For a while,
A few years ago, I was watching a movie with my oldest child, and they asked why the villain was trying to take over the kingdom. I explained that this person was probably just trying to get more power. But what is power? Is it good? Does wanting more make us a villain? Broadly speaking, let's say that power is the ability to do what we want to do and get the things that we want to get. We all need some level of power in our lives. As a species, power is food, clothing, shelter, and tools. As an individual, we get more power by growing up. Older kids tend to have more power than younger kids, and adults tend to have more power than children. Also, we're more able to do the things that we want to do if we're healthy. So things like eating good food, exercising, getting the right amount of sleep, give us more power. And if we have more resources, like we own more stuff and have more money, we can often use those things to get what we want. So having more resources or more money gives us more power too. Now, what I really want to point out here is what happens when different people have different levels of power. No two people are the same, and likely any two people that you meet are going to have different skills and different resources to which they have access. Maybe you have more power than a friend of yours because you can run faster or lift more. And if you find yourself in the middle of some medieval fantasy labyrinth for some reason, maybe you are more likely to be able to find a way out because you can climb the walls or push heavy boulders around. But at the same time, maybe that friend of yours also has more power than you in other things, because they studied computer science for 4 years, and they know how to fix it when the program you want to run on your PC keeps having the same error message every time you try and install it.
Computer over? Virus equals very yes. That's not supposed to be possible.
Making.
Point is that there are so many different problems in life, and so many different ways to solve them. They are always going to be better than someone at getting or doing some things, while others are going to be more capable, that is, have more power than you at other things. Power is always unevenly distributed. So what? I hear you saying. That's right, I can hear you. The way I like to look at it, and maybe you'll find this useful too, is that a power imbalance usually implies two things. That is, first, if you have more power than someone else, it usually means that you have the ability to help that person. I'll give you the good news first. If you can get food, you can help someone who can't get food. If you have had access to good education, you have the ability to share the skills and knowledge that you've acquired with others who have been kept from it. And if you have the tools to influence public policy, then you can support others who have been ignored by the political system. But the other side of the coin is that if you have more power than someone else, it also gives you the ability to hurt that person. A bully can't take your lunch money unless you're actually scared that they can beat you up or shame you on social media. Similarly, if you know enough magic tricks, maybe you can trick people into believing that you are sent from God. If you own all the property in an area, you can make it very difficult for someone to build their own nest egg. And if someone puts their trust in you for any reason, it gives you the ability to betray that trust. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about needs. In psychology, we have several different models of needs, and a common model with which you may or may not be familiar is Maslow's Hierarchy of needs. The basic idea of this is that we as humans have different types of needs. And you may have seen this concept portrayed in a pyramid like this. The different types of needs are often displayed in this way because the needs at the bottom, like food, water, shelter, and feeling safe, are more fundamental than those at the top, like prestige or the feeling of accomplishment that comes from getting one more point in Flappy Bird.
It's not even hard. Look at this. Look at this. Ah! You
Why are you such a atrocity? I hope you
let go in my I will you out.
13!
The way that this relates to power and the way that we're talking about today is that typically those who have the most power, that is, a more potent ability to either hurt or help others, tend to be able to focus on these higher level needs. On the contrary, if all the power you have is directed toward achieving your most basic needs, you're unlikely to have anything left to devote to maximizing your full potential, or fulfilling your destiny as the next figure skating champion, or whatever. So there's a feedback loop. The more power you have to meet your bottom needs, oh my, the more power you will have to achieve your higher needs. There's another idea from psychology that is relevant here, one that I've talked about before, and that is something called the Hedonic Treadmill. The word hedonic refers to the ancient Greek hedonists, who believed that the ultimate good in life is to obtain as much pleasure as possible. The hedonic treadmill is the idea that no matter what we have, no matter how much we achieve in life, we will inevitably want more as we get used to that which we already have. That is, we keep getting more and more power, but ultimately, after some threshold, nothing changes. We look down and we're still in exactly the same place as we were before we bought all these shoes. Now, I know this idea is simple and incomplete, and just because you can help someone does not mean that anybody needs or even wants help from you. But thinking about power in this way helps me to appreciate the types of things that can happen between people or societies. It is not a bad thing to want power or to work hard to obtain it. We all need power. But we also know what Peter Parker would tell us. The more power that we have, the more good that we can accomplish, both in our own lives and in the lives of people around us. But if we're in the habit of taking advantage of our advantages at the expense of others, or focusing so much on our own potential self-actualization that we fail to notice how many people around us are unable to even meet their most basic needs, well, we might be the villain of the story. Anyway, it's just something to think about. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. And that was kind of a downer this time, huh? Yeah, just don't be a villain, okay?